I can think of many instances where I have not wanted to know the results of something for fear of what that would mean. I haven't wanted to know a grade that I got on a test in case it meant that I failed. I haven't wanted to know the outcome of a sporting event in case my favorite team lost. I haven't wanted to go to the doctors for fear of them finding something that could be wrong with me. The problem with all of this is that these uncertain realities are still hanging over my head. While I don't know if I failed a test, neither do I know if I passed or if I need to do something about it. While I don't know what the doctor may discover, neither do I have the peace of mind of a clean bill of health or the ability to correct something that might be wrong. I find when it comes to the topic of sin in the Bible, we can have a similar outlook. But the problem with ignoring it is it still kind of just hangs around and we miss out on an opportunity to be assured of a clean bill of health. I'm excited to dive into 1 John with you. We're going to be in chapter 1, verses 8 and 9. If we claim to be without sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just and will forgive us our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. Now, as we start our reading plan in 1 John today, in this letter, John is addressing a group of false teachers that are teaching that people don't sin, and therefore there's no need to confess their sin to God. Now, I've got to imagine, both then and now, that this concept in many ways is very appealing. But this teaching undermines the very heart of our faith, and that is the necessity of the cross. Now, while on one hand, dismissing sin away as not real may seem like it's an appealing reality, that's a very temporary appeal. Because on the other hand, this view diminishes the extent of God's love for us as demonstrated by the cross. Right? If there is no sin, what's the point of the cross? If we remove the cross, we remove the greatest object of love. I wonder if some of us, if at the heart of the reality of denying sin is an unhealthy fear of God, as well as a low view of his love. I wonder if we treat God as if he couldn't handle our sin and still love us and still give us a clean bill of spiritual health. While it can feel like a fearful thing to acknowledge our sin, this is simultaneously the door to freedom and the assurance of the depths in which we are loved. John assures us that as we confess our sin, that Jesus cleanses us. In other words, it's impossible to get a clean bill of health from the doctor without first getting a physical. While staying away from the doctor prevents you from receiving a diagnosis, it also prevents you from receiving the cure. Confessing our sins is a sign of honesty, humility, and the assurance that we have a clean bill of spiritual health, all because of grace. Where have you been hesitant to be honest with God about your sin? I encourage you right now, take a minute to be honest with him. He can handle it while giving you a clean bill of spiritual health.